Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of the 7th Citadel. My goal is to get all the way through this entire threat, Derricks' Awakening. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, please let me know in the comments below. I am not the best at pronouncing words, so I do apologize ahead of time. We're going to dig into the second mission in this particular threat. The first one was fantastic. I had a great time going through it and I can't wait to dig back into this game. Before we do, there's a few things I want to mention from the last video that I did wrong. Also, I did put a timestamp thanks to one of our amazing community supporters. And also, I have put some Klingon subtitles in that last video. So if there's anything that I did wrong, you should be able to find them there. Also, going forward, if you do notice anything I'm doing wrong, please let me know in the comment section below with a timestamp. And I'll make sure to put a Klingon subtitle going forward so other people can learn. One of the things I did wrong in the last video, this is not the card, but one of the cards I used after we drew our card step, but it was a purse card. Purse cards have to be used before we draw any of the cards to decide what we're going to use to see how many successes we get. There are also some other minor errors that I made that weren't really detrimental to the game. One of them was I drew a card I shouldn't have because I could draw 0 cards, and instead I drew 1 card. You shouldn't have been able to draw any of those cards. But that's okay. We're going to continue on into this next threat, and I'm excited to get into this. We have our 2 characters going forward, Brooks and Denham, and if you're excited to see if they can make it through the second threat in Derricks' Awakening, then I need you to meet me at the table. The first thing we have to do is we have to use our Hope Reborn cards. I usually use these in between videos, so if people give me ideas of how I should go about my Destiny track, I'm able to maybe think about what those are and have people help us decide how this game goes forward. And many times I turn to my Patreon supporters to help us do that. I give them usually an idea of what we need to do, and they can help me out a lot. So if you're interested in supporting me in the future, please check out the link to the Patreon. It's in the description of this video. Also, in one of the perks the Patreons get is they do help us get to decide going forward how we spend some of our Hope Reborn cards, particularly in this adventure, but otherwise they do help us decide what characters we're going to play with and so forth, and other games that we play along the way. We do have 5 Hope Reborn cards, and what I'm going to, one person did mention that a good thing to do is try to get to some of these outlying numbers. Those are pretty good, they say. I don't know, we'll find out. I'm not going to get there today. Spoiler alert, not going to get there. But what we're going to do is I'm actually going to try to follow down this path to get here, because we kind of already went in that direction. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and I have 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm able to get 1 building, but I want to get some more buildings going on. So 1, 2, 3, and I think at this point I'm going to go 4 right here, and I want to get another building. We're going to get another building over here. 4 and, well, that's 5, I guess, right there. 4 and 5, perfect. All right, good. Those are going to be what we're going to do. I've got 1, 2, 3 buildings we can build with, and we have 2 more advanced cards that we can grab, or I should say 2 more uses of the advanced symbol here to get more cards for our characters. We're going to spend all 3 of our points here on the library, and that's because it says during the preparation phase I'm able to draw a 50 card. 50 cards so far have been pretty cool. They haven't been bad. I'm a big fan of 50 cards because they're not really usually anything bad about them. They're usually these cards that are able to help us. Here's an example of one right here. For example, I've put them all into our little journal here, so I apologize for any glare. We do have like a diffraction spell. We have some other things as well inside of this awesome journal that are all our 50 cards. So I'm going to get some more of those 50 cards, put them in there every time we go to a preparation phase. That, of course, cost us 3 of our Hope Reborn cards, and we have 2 left, so we're going to grab 4 of these. Every time you get one of those slots on the chart, you're able to, or in the Destiny folder, you're able to grab 4 cards, and you have to pick 2, and then you can either give them to one person, or you can divide them up amongst the characters. So we're going to do a little quick shuffle here, move these all around. There's a whole bunch of these cards. Absolute astronomical amount of cards. So we're just going to shuffle these in here a little bit, the best I can. We're probably going to make an absolute mess, but that's okay. We're going to put them down there, spread them out a little bit, and we're going to draw 4 cards. We're going to draw this one right here, this one here, then let's see what other one we're going to get. A couple of these here. We'll get this one, and we'll get this one. There we go. We got 4 cards. Okay, what do we get? We got ourselves Dexterity, which I'm able to use this to gain some, for those particular what do you call them, skills. I'm able to add 2 more to the card, or I can gain a stealth thing for it. I also am able to get a wild up there, which isn't bad. We have a stealth mechanic up here for evasion. I'm able to, what's this, discard this to be -4, 2 stealth things when I'm running or fighting. Not a bad idea. Inflexible. I can gain 2 of these, and it says whenever on any action I can gain 2 of these and discard this, or 3 and block this. That's really good. I'm going to keep that one for sure as a keeper. In motivation, you may apply the following effect during any action you're involved in, even when you're not the active player. One involved character may apply a, that's pretty awesome, one of these symbols, leadership type symbols. Discard 1 card from your hand. I think we're going to keep that one too. And I'm going to give, no stars on this. How did the other ones? Oh, stars galore, of course. We got stars galore and no stars. But these 2 leadership things and all these leadership, I think I'm going to keep that. We're going to give that to Denim. We're going to give this one to Brooks. And the reason I'm giving it to Brooks is because Denim has a lot of these symbols that are going to count off of this. They're going to, what do you say, combo off of this particular symbol here. And that way I can use these with Brooks and he can maybe help out as well with her. All right, that's the first one. So we're going to put these 2 cards back in a little bit there and shuffle them up a little bit. We're going to make an absolute mess here. That's fine. We're going to make an absolute mess. No big deal. We'll clean all this up. Look at this. This is a mess. Oh my gosh, I'm making people cringe right now. All right, we're going to take that card. We're going to take this card. We'll get this card over here, right here. And we'll take, let's take this card right there. Okay, we got 4 more cards. In this sea of blue cards, I feel like I'm playing goldfish. All right, the first one we have now is Onward. This is going to give us -3 when we do one of these 2 things, and it gives us 2 of those symbols, and it gives us lots of stars. I like that. Minor teleportation. During the results step of the following action, I can spend 2 of these symbols to gain a success. For a locked thing, I can only grab 1 or more cards. I need 3 successes, but I can only use 1 card. You disappear and reappear a few hundred feet further away. Discard a face down or face up exploration card attached to your terrain and then replace it with the adventure card. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, that's something else. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have swift evasion. You may not apply the following effect if you have selected a card with the keyword armor or cumbersome. We can discard this to gain some shield. The last one is ground shiver knowledge. When I do one of these particular things, I can draw 7 less cards, and I get to put one into my hand and block this or discard 3 cards. We're going to keep both of these for sure, and we're going to give, I think we're going to give this one to her, and this one we're going to give to Brooks. Okay, we'll throw these 2 back in, clean up this absolute mess, and we'll go on with our mission. Our second mission is called Get Fed or Die Trying. This is our introduction. Each player, we're going to return all the cards with keyword temporary. We're also going to unblock all of our cards, shuffle our discard pile into our action deck, and then we're going to block all cards with the keyword companion. We, of course, do not have any companions, so we don't have to worry about that part of it. The group watches you anxiously until Thirder reluctantly steps forward, urged by his comrades. We've just been robbed. While you were away looking for the source of the smoke, about 20 armed men showed up at the camp. Kellyan's soldiers, judging by their equipment. Probably the ones who attacked the Waterbank convoy. They told us they work for Necro-Druid Dadashim, whose citadel was relatively undamaged during the reversal. They suggested that they tolerated our newfound freedom, but if we didn't meet their demands, they would put us back in captivity. Or worse. The gang was small, but they had weapons. We didn't dare oppose them, and you weren't here. They took most of our food in their cart, warning us that they would confiscate even more next time. I'm sorry. What's going to happen to us? You silently rant. It took you so much effort to build up that food supply, and now you're back to square one. You dismiss the group and go to the storeroom, where you spend a moment surveying the situation. Thirder was not exaggerating. The soldiers took everything they could carry. Dealing with the looters will have to wait. The priority is to produce enough to feed everyone. If your, I believe it's production score, we'll look at that in just a second, is 3 or lower, we're going to take a 129 card. Okay, we got super duper lucky. Our production score is 4, so we don't have to take that card. When you emerge, Ephraim, a young blind woman, is waiting for you outside. I heard our supplies are low, and I think I can help you. As a child, I used to farm with my grandfather. His vegetable garden was so lush that it was envied by everyone. He had a secret. Every old man has one, but he, unlike the others, kept it to himself. do you know about the marsh bugs? They build their nests from a kind of wax that makes an excellent fertilizer. Some people even believe it has magical properties. But there is a catch. These insects live underground, so there is no way to detect them except with the big beak bird, which can reach their galleries with their long necks. You need well-honed hearing to recognize the bird's call. My hearing is excellent. I could help you find a big beak. We could go to the mire and bring back enough fertilizer to grow countless crops in record time. What do you say? You have no choice but to accept Epham's proposal. If you do not find some way to refill the community's reserves and prevent famine, everything you have worked for over the past months will fall apart. Our goal for this particular scenario, oh, and by the way, as we're looking for cards, if we see that particular symbol on any cards, it will trump any other cards in the deck that have the same number. So we're going to be looking for these as we go forward. It says here, primary, find marshbug nest. Lead Epham the Blind into the mire. So Epham the Blind into the mire. This would be absolutely fantastic. To retrieve marshbug nests. Each nest corresponds to one objective card. When you read the epilogue, you will need to have at least 3 objective cards or 2 objective cards if your production is 6 or higher. Now ours is 4, so it's not 6 or higher. So we need to have 3. Now I'm wondering, as we go forward, I think this is going to be a cumulative thing. So if we're actually able to gain ourselves 2 production before we complete this mission, we might only have to come back with 2 objectives. So that's the way at least I'm thinking about this. We have to take a 166 card that states, a young woman accompanies you on a search for marshbugs' nests. Only she can recognize the whistle of the big beak, which will help you locate their nest. So this is going to be Epham the Blind here. If you become unconscious, give this to a conscious character. If this gets discarded or blocked, you won't be able to find the marshbug nests, and you should return to the Citadel. So we're looking for a big beak bird, which is going to have that symbol. You may not take the following action unless big beak bird can be seen on your terrain card. And at that point, we have to have all our characters there, and we're going to do a conversation with Ephraim. And we're going to read the bottom part here. It says, Ephraim picks up her ears. Ephraim pricks up her ears, trying to hone in on the bird's song. And we'll read the dialogue number bearing the same number of the train card that has our big beak bird. So since we have a leader, and that's Denim, Denim is going to be in charge of Ephraim. Now Ephraim is a item card here, and it doesn't have any weight to it, so I can have as many unweighted cards as I want with her, and that's another one we're going to have. For this scenario, the ground shriver is going to be 3. It was 3 in the previous scenario, so we don't have to worry about that. We're going to set all our life totals back to 20. We're going to draw 2 cards for each of our character. Each player may unblock some or all of their cards, the keyword companion for each card unblocked. This way they lose 2 life points. We don't have any, but if we want to bring companions with it, it's going to cost us life. We're then going to return all the Hope Reborn cards, so all our 99 cards will return back to the box, and then we will remember to look up your side quests. We don't have any. The cards in the world map and the effects of your built buildings. We'll put a 75 card into play, and each player places their figure on it. So we do have some stuff to do for our preparation phase. For us, each of our areas, the production, the defense, the knowledge, and the influence is all going to go up by 1, plus I get a 50 card because of our library. On top of that, we will draw our 2 cards, and we have all our characters ready to go. When I finish doing all of that, we're going to stop reading for now, and we'll place the bookmark here. So I'll put our bookmark right here, and we'll read this when we come back, and it tells us to. Again, like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves 1 in each of these things. We've got 1 more knowledge, 1 more influence, 1 more defense, and 1 more production. So we're almost at 6 right now. If we can somehow find a production out on the field, we might be able to come back with only 2 quest cards, and that would actually be a lot easier than having to get all 3. Because this is still the preparation phase, we have the library. We're able to take a 50 card. They're all going to have the same front. It's just a matter of what is going to be on the back. We'll take this one, flip it over, and we have found, take a 449 card and return this. If it is not available, take a 50 card and banish this. All right, so we're going to take a 449. Interestingly, this is one of the expansions that is in the game. So I'm going to shuffle up all these 449 cards. We're going to take one of these cards. We'll see which one we get. We're going to do it this way because the front actually has pictures on it, and I don't want to spoil the pictures for myself. So we're just going to grab we'll grab this one right here and see what it's all about. There's our 449 card. All right, we're going to put these to the side because we don't need to banish this because we do have a 449 card. We're going to put this into the past, I believe. We'll put that into the past. And then, in theory, we might be able to pick up another one of those as time goes on. So this one says, big, was that? I can barely read out that thing. Little curse, big treatments, little curse, I think is what it says. Now, this is a double card, so I have to actually pull it out of the sleeve. And let's see what it says inside here. Applying a bandage, bringing the edge of the wound together after cleaning it with vinegar, then compress it with clean bandages. Be careful not to compress the wound too tightly as it can cause swelling, inflammation, or even gangrene. Poorly irrigated tissues that will result in necrosis within a few days. Remember to change the bandage if they are saturated with blood or pus or are simply dirty. Amputation of a limb. Oh, I don't want that. If the limb cannot be saved because the bone is too decayed or the flesh is torn away, apply a tourniquet over the wound. See chapter applying tourniquet. If the tissue shows signs of necrosis, cut it away to avoid rotting. Once the limb has been removed, tie off the vessels and bandage. See a chapter applying a bandage, which is over here. Then it says some people still use cauterization, which I refuse to do. Indeed, beside the violence of the treatment from which the patient may die, gangrene tends to get under the scabs, which may peel off, thus causing a hemorrhage. All right, let's see here. Big treatments, little cures. Okay, that's what it says on the back side here. Big treatment, little cures. Okay, I can't read that. Immediately after this is revealed, write down causes the cures on the side quest page of the Citadel leaflet. If we ever do a, like, what's this, heal action, if this action succeeds, check one box on the quest, causes and cures. When 5 boxes have been checked, the initiated and finished boxes take 99 card and a 496 card and then banish this. All right, so that's pretty awesome. All right, so we've got a side quest now based on hopefully keeping our characters alive. So we have here causes and cures under our side quests. And at this point, if we get 5 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm just going to cross these out to know that if I'll meet my limit then. And at this, then after we get 5, it says to mark the initiated and finished steps. And we're going to grab a 99 card, which of course is one of our Hope Reborn cards. So we'd be able to get 1 experience points if we're able to do that. And we'll get 496 and banish this card. So that's super cool. So I don't have to go out of my way to look for this one. I just have to, well, I just have to have my characters injured and heal them. That's all we have to do. I'm not a big fan of getting injured, but, well, you know, maybe it might be okay just so we can get through this quest. So here is Denim. I'm just going to go through everything that she has, and we'll look at what we have here. We have a flail. We have a metal wire. We got both of those in our prelude. We have her quest here called Blood Ties. She also has a flute, which is really just going to be used for barter, or if we have to use it for music, we can do that. We have this piece of Alembeck, which we have gained card 574, and we have this little miniature that is going along with us. Now, we found this in our last playthrough, and I believe I have to keep this, so this person is still going to follow me along. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know. But I believe this character continues to follow me as we continue through our adventure on the 7th Citadel. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. We do have Ephraim the Blind, which we've already talked about, and we've shuffled up the deck. We're going to grab 2 cards. Now, with this character with us, I can only ever have 2 cards in my hand. So the 2 cards she's going to have is drop your guard. I can add an extra card to a chain when it comes to a fight. During the consequence step, you may not apply a shield effect, and then I discard this card. The other one I have is Authority. So during any action, I can discard this to gain 2 of these leadership tags. So right now, this card is worth 2 leadership, and who knows, it might come into handy as we go forward. Now, sadly, I don't have any items that have to do with leadership. Hopefully, we'll find some along the way. Looking at our friend Brooks, Brooks has his axe and this Patagavison, which we were able to gather from the last one. He has his quest called a Dormant Strength. We need to get 4 weakness cards, which I don't really want any of those, so I don't know if we're ever going to complete that quest. I'm going to grab 2 cards from his pile here. He has found himself Weak Point, which allows him to spend 2 strength icons to give himself an extra success, or sorry, an extra chain, maximum 2, and then add one of the cards to his hand. Then we have On the Double. You may not take the following action if you exceed your maximum carried weight or are cumbersome. When I do a run action, I can draw one card. I need one success. I can add the card to my hand and move your figure to another terrain card that is connected to your terrain card by an uninterrupted series of terrain cards. Discard that. All right, that's not bad. Now, of course, this is holding a success in my hand, which isn't the greatest, but that's okay. Here's our 75 card. It's the same one we started with in the last video. We know what this 77 is, so we do not have to go there. We do know we have to go back to this particular place, and then all of us leave to get back into our Citadel. But I am going to put out a couple exploration cards. Now, we did put all the exploration cards from the past back into our deck, so there is a chance that we might see some of the same ones that we saw in the last video. So we're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle here so that we're all set to go. We'll put a couple of them down. Now, we need to get to the mire, the marsh, I think is what it's called, which I believe is south, because if I looked at my map, which I could show you, but it's absolutely huge. I'll try to. Let's see what I can do here. It's going to be an absolute disaster. In all my reflective glory here, it does show that the mire there is down south from where we are. Remember the Inn of the Red Piggy? We went to that last video. So we're going to head down south because that is where we need to find these bumbling birds or something, the big beak bird, and we also have to find our bugs, which I'm not super excited to do because I'm deathly afraid of bugs, but you know, we do what we can for our colony. So at this point, now remember, when I do things, I'm going to do everything together unless I say otherwise. That's because both of our characters are geared to be doing things. I've kind of been trying to specialize them. Brooks has been built more for war, and Denham has been built more for exploration and leadership. So that way, if we flip over this card and it's a battle card and I'm doing with Denham, and this person might not be able to join in. Where if I do it with, if I go down here by myself with Brooks and it's a leadership card, like I have to talk to somebody or something, it's probably better if I would have had Denham with me. But if both our characters go there, we are going to be able to do it together, and we can choose which one wants to do it. Now, of course, there could be consequences where if each character has to deal, like grab a 0-1 card or something, which could be a weakness card, both of our characters have to suffer that penalty. So we're going to look at this card. We're going to use a action to go down here. We're going to check out what it says here. It's going to cost us 4 cards in order to flip this card over, but it says if your ground shiver is level 3 or higher, we can flip this without having to pay, and it is right now a 3 or higher. So we can flip this for free. So we're going to flip it over and see what we have found. It has been raining since mid-morning. The earth and ground has turned into a quagmire that is extremely difficult to move through. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right, so it's kind of funny. I'm going into the marsh while it's raining. That was probably the worst plan ever. Look at your timepiece. It is between midnight and 10, you avoid the bad weather. If it's 10 to 14, your characters on the active tile terrain must discard 2 cards. If it's 14 to 19, each character on the active player card must discard 2, or if they're exhausted, 4. If it's 7 o'clock to 11:59 p.m., each character on the active terrain card must discard 3 and then either return a glimmer of hope or take a 0-1 card. Okay, sadly, funny enough, we are playing at 9:17. We're playing at 9:17 a.m., so it is between midnight and 10 a.m. So I avoid the bad weather. Oh, what a great time to do recording is in the morning. I knew being able to take today off from work was going to be a good thing, and it has been a great thing. We are going to avoid the bad weather. So I'm going to put this into the past, and I'm going to draw or take an 81 card. The card states, the ground of the plain in front of you seems to have been turned over. Human bones, bits of corroded armor, and the remains of war machines are littered here and there. This place is a veritable necropolis. It was probably the scene of an ancient battle. Oh my goodness. Okay, yep, scene of an ancient battle. Now, there probably is going to be some kind of number. Now, thanks to the community again, I know I missed a number hidden in one of the cards earlier when we played our last adventure. Hopefully I don't do that again, but you know, I'll do what I can. All right, we'll put this down here. Now, of course, I can't move onto it. I have to take a move action to move onto this card, but we do have to populate it with 2 more 1 cards. So we'll put one right down here, and we'll put another one over to the side over there. Then we're going to take a move action. Who's going to do the move action? We'll have Denim do the move action, that she's going to take one card. Oh no, I'm going to have Brooks do it, because Brooks can still add one card to his hand. Denim cannot. Denim can only hold 2 cards because she's in charge of this gray dealy dude here. So he's going to draw his next card. Second Wind. I can put cards back. We've seen that card before in the last playthrough. I'm going to move a character onto this particular tile here. There's a lot of things, including some red berries there, but I don't think I have a card that has to do with that yet. But if I found, I believe it's going to be a 50 card, because they seem to have cards that have to deal with some of these berries and things. And then we're going to move this over to here. Now I'm going to put her onto this road, because in our last video, I accidentally did something wrong. And when I flipped over one of the cards, it said if you're standing on one of the roads, then you would have to not suffer a certain penalty. And I just meant that, I thought that it meant that it had to have the road on the card, but it didn't. It would actually meant you had to be standing on the road in the card. So I'm going to stand on the road in the card. I'm going to stand on top of that thing too, because who knows? It might say if you're standing on this thing, something happens. Now that I know there's a card like that out there, I'm kind of paranoid away from my people on the tiles. All right, then this guy at the consequence step is going to follow us onto this tile. At this point, we are going to check out 160. Both of our characters are going to do this together, and I'm not going to put them on that thing. I'm going to keep one right here. All right, there we go. 160. It is going to cost us 1 card to look at this particular thing, but I do need 0 successes, and that's in order for us to perform our examine action, which looks like a huge something had a battle. All right, this is going to be Denim. Denim's just going to flip the card. Probably not going to keep it. Improvise. I can use this to gain 1, or I can add and then add 1 to a card. Actually, that's really good. I'm going to get rid of my drop your guard card. I'm going to discard that one and put this one into my hand, because this is kind of more of a universal card, where that one was more only geared towards fighting. Okay, at this point, we're going to check out card number 160. It says, a ballista is half buried in the ground and seems to be relatively well preserved, and could be very useful in reinforcing the Citadel's defenses. This is going to be good. I can dig it out. 15 cards, I need 6 successes, or 5 if you choose to block 1 card with the keyword artisan. Well, I don't have that. I don't have any of that. I don't have an artisan. I don't have, I'm going to put this right here. This is not going to happen. We might, if we have some cards coming back through here, we might give this a shot. But as it stands right now, I am not going to spend 15 cards to dig this out. Oh my gosh, but if I do, I get +2 to my defenses, and I get a Hope Reborn card. So that might be something we might want to do as we come back through, but not going out of here. Also, something I did wrong in the last video that I want to mention is when I have a card over on the side, you don't have to go back to this action. There was the card where we could rest at the Red Piggy Inn, I think was the name of the inn. And what I did is I said, I'm going to go back over to this inn, and I drew a card but needed 0 successes. And when I did that, then I said, okay, now we can use this card. No, once the card is revealed, you don't have to go back to doing this action to be able to see what's here. You've already seen it. So if I want to perform this action, I just have to do what's on that card now. All right, I'm going to put myself back on that road, and I'm going to put myself back on there. At this point, we are going to go south again into the mire and see what's there. It could go over here though, but did we reveal this card last time? I don't remember. It's been too long. I'm going to take a look at this. This is still a level 1 card, so it's going to cost us nothing to look at. We have found ourselves, oh, the young woman marches in the direction with a bulky bag she's carrying. I think we've seen this one before. At this point, I have to choose 0 cards to read a 105. We're going to do that again. This is, I think, one we've seen in the last video, but we're going to go to our dialogue book number 105. Yes, I believe this is the same card. It says, good day. You look familiar. I saw you last time I was at the Citadel, or what's left of it. Is everything all right? I don't know if you remember me. I'm Sable, a member of the chain. We connect people to by bringing them letters, packages, and news. And there's plenty of news on the road between the garrison of the Outer Edge and the Fort Cutthroat. So I do not have 2 cards with barter. I only have 1, so I can't do that. So we're going to continue reading at 144. At this point, we'll check our tags. We do not have any of those tags, and I'm not a fugitive, so I'll just roll the die like I did last time and see what we get. We got ourselves a 6, so we're going to read 283. It says here, can you do me a favor? I picked this package at the Palace of Kel, where the Council of 4 is sitting. I couldn't find the recipient, probably because they are not on my itinerary. Maybe you'll have better luck than I did. I'll give you this if you agree to help me. With that, she pulls out a bottle that obviously contains a potion. If you have the bad reputation card, or if you're, oh, that's not going to help. If we have a score less than 5, Sable changes their mind, return the dialogue book. Otherwise, we'll take a 441 card, and if the latter is available, take a 249 card, then read 144. Well, we're just going to be returning the dialogue book because we have our, I think that's the reputation score is less than 5, but I don't have the bad reputation card. That bad reputation card, the symbol for that is a global effect, I believe is what they call that. And I don't have, I don't have to worry about that, but I don't have a score of 5 or more on our influence is what it is, I believe. It's either influence or, but I think it's influence. Score of 5 or higher or lower. If your score is 5 or lower, yep, return the dialogue book. We don't get to do this. Oh, sad, sad. Maybe we'll find her again next time. All right. Good news, bad news. We really didn't get anything out of this card, but also it did not hurt us. We'll stick this into the past and we'll grab card 185. The card states, it looks like you have to step over a narrow precipice in some places to reach the next plateau. Lucky the vegetation is sparse enough not to hinder your movements. This does not sound good. All right. Oh my gosh, look at this place. I have to jump from place to place. I don't want to jump around here. Oh my gosh, it's like a house of pain. Jump around, jump around. Jump up, and get down. All right, we'll put that right like that, and we'll grab a number 2 card now. Okay, so we might not be able to continue too much farther in this direction. Remember, when you see the, well, but this might be the way we have to go. I'll have to put a 2 card down. We have 81 up here, and we can check out 227 if you wish to. And again, looking at these cards, we might find some numbers mixed into the vegetation or written on a rock or something. But again, I don't see any, but I could be wrong. I'm going to put that right down there and place out our exploration cards. I guess it's actually exploration card. There's only one. We can only go this way. So we're going to mix these up a little bit, and we'll see what we can do here. And we'll cut them again, and we'll put down this one. Now, let's take a look quick at this. It says, if your ground shiver level is 3 or higher, it's still 0. Okay, so the 2s are still good to be able to walk around on. Also, I could check out what's over on that side as well. I don't see why we don't. I think that would be a wise plan. Again, we're both going to do this together. We're doing everything together, unless I say otherwise. This one will flip over and see what we have found. What's this? Wisps of pinkish smoke escape from a hole in the ground. If you'd rather go on your way, discard this. Or on this action, I can gain 2 of these. And for nothing and nothing, I can take a 349 card and then discard this. Okay, I'm a little confused as to how this is all going to play out. I think at this point, I could, for this action, I get 2 of those symbols for any action here. And so the action, if I do this action, would I be able to use 2 of these symbols for it? And if so, I could draw 0 card and gain something. Now remember, I have an action where I can actually like cast spells. I've got that diffraction spell where I can draw 1 card and get 0, but for each, and I'd only get to chain 1 to get 3 successes, but for each one of these, I can add 1 to a max of 2. So with 2 of these symbols here, I could, I believe, cast this spell with a chain of 3 and need 3 successes, and I would be able to put one in my hand and gain a 53 card, which you may immediately give to your character on the terrain card. If it is not available, the spell does not work. I believe that's how that works. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But for now, I don't see why we don't just, why don't we do that? We're going to try to cast this spell. I think this will be really super cool. I'm going to gain 2 of these particular icons from this card, and I am going to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3 cards. I'm going to grab 4 cards and try to cast a spell. I get to do a chain of 3 because of those 2 there. I'm going to have Denim do this. We're going to grab 4 cards. Oh, I'm going to grab 3 cards. No, we'll grab 4. We'll grab 4. We want to cast a spell because I want to see what it does. We're going to grab 4 cards. We need 3 successes. I got 0. I got 1, 2, 3. Here's the 3 cards I'm going to keep. They all have successes on them. So that means we have gotten 3 successes to be able to cast this spell. Because I can keep 3 cards because of these 2 symbols on there. I get to add 1 to my hand, and I get to take a 53 card. So we'll see if we want to keep any of these in our hands, and then we'll grab 53. I am going to discard Improvise to keep this card, Resolution. And the reason why is because with this right here, that's pretty much an auto success right there. I have no reason not to do this. I can use both these cards together to create an auto success because I get to gain 2 of these automatically to give myself a success. And if any more pop up, I can give myself more successes. And since she has kind of a leadership type deck, that might help us. We'll put the rest of those cards in, plus the one that I decided not to keep, into the discard pile. And we're going to grab card 53. Let's take a look at our 53 card. It states here, diffraction. Others see you as silhouette a few inches away from where you actually are. During a fight, a dodge and a move action or run action, ignore brutal. For each one of these, I can spend to give myself 1 shield. All right, she has a spell, temporary spell. All right, I'll keep that. I have no reason not to. She's going to have diffraction. I'm going to give it to her. Now, am I allowed to give it to the other guy? I can give it to any character on a train card. Now, I don't think he has too many of these. I don't think either of our characters have too many of these, but we're going to give it to him. He's going to take the diffraction card. Though, where I'm looking right now, he has this card in his hand, which means he already has that symbol out of his deck, and I don't know how many of those symbols they have in them, but that's okay. We'll give this to him. Maybe it'll pop up, and that'll be pretty awesome. At this point, I am going to take a 349 card to see what the pink stuff is. I don't see why we don't do that either. That sounds pretty awesome. Then we're going to card and then discard this. There are 2 349 cards. We're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle here. Shake them up a little bit and see what we get. There we go. And we're going to take this one. All right. Hopefully it's not bad. We have found ourselves Arcane Energy. A flow of pure arcane energy surrounds you. During an action, you can gain a bunch of stars. During the consequence step, roll a die. If you roll anything but a 6, return this. Okay, fantastic. It's a quest item. I have arcane energy. I don't know when I'm ever going to use it. That's fantastic. There were 2 of them, so I'm going to return this one to the box. And who knows, that might have been a bad one. But we'll never know. No, maybe we might find out some other time on our adventure. But for now, that is where we sit. We're able to get some arcane energy. We'll remove this card and put down a 108. This card states, the path winds between 2 hilly areas colonized by what is probably hostile flora. That doesn't sound like a place I'm going to go. Arriving from the east, you hear the echo of the surf on the salty air. The great sea has expanded, finally earning the name that the Killians gave it out of pride. All right, we have our, I saw this card, but I don't think we went here. Again, I don't see any numbers on it, but we'll place that card right here, and then we'll put this into the past. Again, please let me know if I did any of that wrong on here. Now, I decided not to draw any cards to get in because I needed 0 successes in order to make that happen, which is why we just kind of did it. All right, I think that's it. All right, now I decide which way we're going to go. I believe we have to go down here. Unless I'm going completely in the wrong direction, which I very well could be. I don't think I want to go over here because it said something about flora that wanted to eat us. Though the only thing over here that we can do anything with is this boat. But I don't think we need the boat right now. I think the boat's going to help us. I think going down is going to be our best bet because I want to check out what's in these trees. So we're going to have Brooks. Brooks has not really done anything. Brooks is going to move, she's going to follow, and Brooks is going to grab a card to move with. He has gotten Blacksmith. He's not going to keep it. He's going to get rid of that. I don't think I have any reason to keep that. Then we're going to go check this out over here. This is going to be our examine action. We're going to see what's in this card. I'm going to have Brooks do that as well, but of course we're doing it together, but he's going to be the active player. We draw a card. He got Parry. I can use 2 of these. We're going to get rid of that. On the double, maybe I keep that card. I'm going to get rid of on the double, and we're going to keep Parry. We're going to keep that card as well. And we're going to discard our on the double card, and we're going to gain card 227. There are 227 cards, so again, mix them up a little bit. We'll grab one of these cards, see what we have. We're going to grab this one right here. We have found ourselves, oh, sorry, I should read the back side first. It says, ashes from the campfire have been scattered by the wind and rain nearby. Branches have been piled up and stones laid out as seats. The camp seems entirely abandoned. On the back side, it says, it would not take much to get a campsite warmed up again, starting with a good fire. At this point, I can draw no cards, but I need a success. And it says the flames crackle, radiating a welcome warmth all around. Take a 49 card. Each involved character may return their You Are Exhausted card and choose one card from their discard pile to add to their hand, and then discard this. Otherwise, the wood breaks, wood belches thick smoke, is probably too green or wet to catch. So when we can add a card to our hand. So I'm going to place this next to here. We're not going to do anything with that. We're going to leave it just like that. I have no reason. Again, these two cards we might need on the way back, but I don't feel we need them right now. I'm going to return this one to the box. At this point, it looks like the only way to go is going to be in this direction. So we're going to travel in this direction. There's no road to be standing on, so hopefully nothing eats us. But we are going to stand right there. There we go. We're going to flip this card over and see what we have found. Again, if you have a ground shiver level of 3 or higher, I can just flip this for free. We have found a long stick. Well, nothing wrong with long sticks. You pick up a Sokar branch. Its wood is as flexible as it is strong, and it is much larger than those you are usually found. If I'm ever able to do a balance, a strength, or a attack action, I can get -3 cards. If you do not take any successes into account, discard this. For a balance action, I could instead use get an extra chain and a star, and if this action fails, I discard this. I'm going to give this to Denim. Denim's going to take this. Now, this is going to cost 1 for our weight. Our maximum weight that we can hold is going to be 7. So right now she is at 2 because she has a flail and a long stick. That's pretty awesome. Brooks, on the other hand, is at a weight value of 4 because of his padded gambeson and axe. At this point, I'll put out an 84 card. Our 84 card states, tall trees line the path beyond which lies meadow with thorny shrubs and brushes. All right, we'll flip this over. Here we go. We got a thing. Oh, there's the bird. I see the bird right up here, which is awesome. We're going to go check out the bird. Now, I have a strong feeling that this can't be that easy. This can't be the only bird we're going to find here. We'll put it down. I don't see any numbers or anything on this card. Again, I am not very good at that. So there could be 3 numbers on there, and I can't even see them. This goes out like this, and we do have to put a new adventure card down there. We are slowly moving, it looks south. We're going to move over to here. I'm going to have Brooks move us over, and then she can move over as well. Now remember, the reason I'm not drawing any cards for her is if I move onto a train card where there's another figure, it costs me 1 less. And none of these have anything that are going to cause more a card draw in order for us to move. Brooks is going to draw a card. He has found himself a Deceptive Strike, which could be really good. I can add a chain, and each one of these I can add a strength to, and I can discard this. That's a really good card. I know I just got parry, but I'm going to discard my parry card to keep Deceptive Strike. Now, if we look at our Ephraim the Blind, it says, you may not take the following action unless a big beak bird can be seen on your train card. I am going to she pricks up her ears, and I can read the dialogue book that bears the same number as your terrain card, but everybody has to do this action. It doesn't cost anything. I don't see why we don't, because we have our bird up here. So the terrain card number we are on is going to be card number 84. So we're going to go into our dialogue book into number 84, and I've made a big mess of my awesome looking map here. We'll put it there, and we'll read number 84. Evan singles you to stop and whispers, "Did you hear something? A whistle?" If you answer yes, read 37. If you answer no, read 53. Okay, now sometimes a lot of this has to do with, sometimes it's kind of almost breaking the fourth wall. So I'm going to say I did not hear a whistle because I technically did not hear a whistle. I am sitting in my basement recording this video, and I did not hear a whistle from anywhere. So we're going to read 53. "I didn't hear anything either," Ephraim says after a long and silent walk. She tells you to stop. Read 47. Ephraim smiles. You wonder why, and then you hear the melodious whistle. Moving branches aside, you discover a colorful bird at the center of a clearing, digging into the earth with its long beak and pulling out marsh bugs. As you approach the nest to dig it out, Ephraim seizes you by the arm. "Not another step! Vibrations!" You wait, watching closely. What a shame! Crystal torreds. At least 4 of them. They love these insects and are very aggressive. Their crystalline skin, as sharp as it is resistant, makes them dangerous beasts. Better it give up and try our luck elsewhere. We need this fertilizer. I'd rather take my chances. That's your choice. Do you have a musical instrument with you? Is this really a good time for a tune? Torreds cannot stand certain sounds. but if you prefer to face them, that's up to you. If you prefer to avoid confrontation and continue your search for marsh bug nests elsewhere, return to the dialogue book. If you prefer to fight the crystal torads, take a 171 card. If you win the fight, all you have to do is dig up the nest, take a 101 card, and return the dialogue book. Otherwise, return the dialogue book. If you prefer to play music, one character may make the following action only if they have a card with the keyword music. Interestingly enough, I do have a card with the keyword music. I've got a flute that I found in one of our last adventure that we could use. So there is a chance I could try that. I'd definitely be better than fighting these guys. Since I can do that, I can do this music action, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So we're going to play music. I can draw 0 cards, but I can also draw as many as I want. So I could draw up to 3 cards, or 4 cards. I can draw 17 cards if I want to. And it's not a locked action. It's not a chained action, so I can use as many of the cards as I draw, which is going to be awesome. So if we do get our 3 successes, the sonic resonance from your instrument begins to chip away at the Torad's skin. They eventually scurry away, leaving you free to retrieve the marsh bug nest. I could take a 101 card and then return to the dialogue book. Sadly, if I fail, I'm going to have to fight them, and if I win, I get a 101 card. So I'm going to grab 4 cards from Denim. Denim is going to do this action, so we're going to see how well this goes. I don't get any bonuses. I don't really have anything I can help her at all. So we're going to see how this goes here. I've gotten half a success on things. I got 1, another half, and 2. Okay, so we got 3 successes here because I can link those together. So we got 1, 2, and then here's our 3rd success. So we were successful. So we get to grab a 101 card from the box and see what it says. It, I believe, is those objective cards. Yes, we found this. It says, for the needs of certain scenarios, consider this to be objective 1. So we have objective 1 in our quest book. Oofta. Now, I don't get to keep any of these cards. These are all going to go into the discard pile, and that's totally fine. At this point, then, we are going to return the dialogue book. That was awesome. Okay, that was just dumb luck that we actually had a musical instrument for us. That was awesome. All right, we're going to go down here. I'm going to use both our characters to move down into this place. This is going to not cost me anything because it is a ground shiver level 3 or higher. So it's going to cost me nothing. Let's see what we have found. We have found ourselves, you discover the ruins of a building. It used to be a coaching inn. Judging by the rusty plate that still hangs showing a galloping horse. If you would rather go on your way, discard this, or I could check this place out, I believe. Yes, that of course is a search action. It's going to cost me some cards, but it says you eventually find a valuable object. Take a 13 card and try your luck. If Lady Luck is on your side, I get a 50 card and a 199 card. If you are Jinx, take a 149 card and discard this. As you search through the rubble, a small snake emerges from a hole and bites you in the wrist. One random involved character gets a 0-4 card. That's pretty funny. So do notice I am going to do this together, and like it says here, a randomly involved character will take a 0-4 card. So like I said, it could, even though you're not doing the action, if you're part of it, something that evil could happen to you, or be bad, I guess you could say. Now I can leave this here. It is not an automatically I have to do this action because there is something else I forgot. I could look at this card, this part of this card as well. I can search over here. It's going to cost me 2 cards. I'm going to have Brooks do that. Brooks is going to search that. He's going to grab a couple cards out of his deck. He found Spare No Effect and Jack of All Trades, which gives him a what do you call this? A wild effect on any of his actions he does. But we'll just discard these 2 cards for now and move on and see what card 261 has in store. This card states, a dozen or so sleep are scattered about grazing. The ruminating animals have found something here to satisfy their insatiable appetites. If only you could take them back to the Citadel. Let's see what it says. The timid creatures flee as you try to approach. If you have a card with the keyword animal or a sack of grain card, I can attempt to give that to him as a present, and I get card 270. Otherwise, and if I fail that, I run away. So this, no, this is just going to sit here. That was a waste of 2 cards. But the cool thing is as we're exploring this, if we go back to the Citadel, coming back through at another adventure, say we have to go in this direction again, I would know that this card is here, and I could potentially make sure that I have that sack of grain to be able to give this for these characters so I have a chance at actually getting this to bring back to our Citadel. But for now, it's that's actually one of the things I'm really excited about this game. Like, for example, we have that ballista. I don't need to get this right now, but if we come back through sometime, now that I know it's there, I could make sure that I have somebody with the keyword artisan to make this an easier action to do, and we can bring it back in a later episode, which is going to be super fun. Now, I am going to do this. We're going to search the heck out of this thing. Hopefully get something really good. It's going to cost me 2 cards, and I have to have 3 successes. As we stand right now, Denim has used 9 cards in her discard pile, and Brooks has 5, but I am going to have Denim do this action, mainly because if we ever get into a combat, it's going to be all Brooks. And if Brooks is really going to need probably a lot of extra cards in order to be able to make it through all of that. All right, we're going to draw 4 cards from her deck to hopefully get 3 successes. Let's see what we have found. We have found half a star. We have found another half of a star, so this gives us 2 stars. We got 1, 2, and then we got 3. Okay, good, we got lucky. We got 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. We got 3 stars, which is going to be exactly what we need. We're going to put those in the discard pile. I don't get to keep any of those, but I do. Oh, I have to take a 13 card now. Now there's 6 of these, and so I think this is like a 1 in 6 chance, or a 3 in, maybe it's a 50-50 chance. I don't know what the odds are in this. So we're going to take a 13 card, flip it over, and it says, oh, you are jinxed. Old Cider always said, I've been around, and I'm telling you, good luck never lasts, bad luck never sleeps. Return this. Barf. All right, so return that card. We've got a, what it says here, take a 13 card if you're luck. If Lady Luck is on your side, take a 50 card and a 190 card. If you're jinxed, take a 149 card. Barf. There's a plethora of 149 cards, so again, we're just going to mix them up a little bit, and we'll draw one of these 149 cards. None of them have any symbols on them. We have found jiggling balls. Oh my god, juggling balls, not jiggling. We have found juggling balls. How about that? Okay, we can do a juggling action, I guess. You pass the time trying to learn to juggle. Return your You Are Confused card and take a 150 card. All right, I've got juggling balls. That's absolutely amazing. I don't know why I remember doing this. It doesn't cost anything. Let's get into Brooks. Brooks can have some juggling balls. There you go. Some juggling balls. We'll return the rest of these to the box. We'll remove this card and put down a 197. 197 states, numerous tombstones overlook the mire. Strange to find them so far from civilization. I do want to mention there was another one that had a flag for a different quest on there. But like I said, I'm not going to show you that if there's multiples and they have flags from other quests. I'm not going to show those. I'm just going to show the ones that would pertain to us right now. This one, it looks like this. Let's see. There's the tombstones over there. We have, looks like the, oh, this is going to be the mire. All right. So, or the marsh. All right. So this wasn't the marsh. I thought the marsh was up there. Okay. Let's see what these under any numbers on any of this stuff. It doesn't look like it. All right, we'll put that down here. I am going to have to adjust our map so we can put down our adventure cards here. We'll be placing out some 4 cards, I believe is the Roman numeral for those. We'll mix these up here a little bit, and we'll place them down on the ground and see what befalls our great adventurers here. We'll put one there, and we'll put one there. There we go. Now, I do want to look at this one. This one does cost 7, but it does say if you have a ground shield, oh, 5 or higher. Okay, ours is 3. So we do have to pay 7 cards to explore that. And if you notice here, it's going to cost us 2 cards to move off of this tile because the marsh is that bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is starting to be real. Remember when I said you don't really probably be going in directions that are going to cost a ton to go in? That is not going to be the case here because I believe you have to go into this marsh to find the rest of these birds. And that's going to cost a ton of energy to do. Yuck. All right, we're going to have to move. Brooks is moving because we don't have a lot of cards. All right, Brooks is going to move. He's going to grab a card, and we're just going to see what he has found. He's got himself an improvise, which allows him to add a chain to an any action, which could be good. But we're going to put it in the discard pile. We don't need it. Okay, we're going to move down here, and we're going to have to check out 77. Oh, sorry, it's 177 here. That's what we have to do. I'm going to get myself out of the marsh in case this says something about like, oh, if you're standing in the marsh, bad things can happen. We're going to grab 177. This card states, you stroll through the cemetery, surprised to discover it relatively well preserved. It is a rare to find them untouched by the Necro-Druid's henchmen, who used to steal corpses from graves. 177 states, you stroll through the cemetery, surprised to discover it relatively well preserved. It is rare to find them untouched by the Necro-Druid's henchmen, who used to steal corpses from graves, enabling their masters to shape their monstrosities. You notice a curious detail. The same family name is engraved on many of the headstones. Here we have the headstones. It'd be super cool to see a number on a headstone, but I do not. And what is that dude doing in the middle of here? A voice startles you. A man about 40 cycles old emerges suddenly from among the gravestones. I can read 275, and I don't see, again, any numbers on the tombstones or anything. I was really hoping we'd find something. We'll put that right here, and we'll read 275 because it doesn't cost us anything to do, so we're just going to go ahead and do this. I don't see why not. Have you come here to visit a lost one? No, no, don't be afraid. I am Gyron, the keeper of these graves. I wager you weren't expecting to find a cemetery in such a remote place. Burial is an old custom, almost forgotten today except for nobles like us who still practice it. Restoring this very old and forgotten cemetery, cost my grandfather a lot of work and tears. Yes, many tears. It was no easy task to transport the bodies of our family decimated when the burrowers caused the ground to swallow Valengard. Grandfather told me many stories about that time that will stay with me forever. And he and my father are buried here. I will maintain the family necropolis to keep it safe from the necro-druids and their cursed plants. If both your influence and defense are above 10, I can read 240. Otherwise, I'm going to return the dialogue book. So again, more things to remember moving forward in the game. If I ever get 10 in both those scores, come back and talk to this guy. Now, it looks like I'm going to have to push into this marsh, and I don't have anything that's going to help me do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my second win card. It states right down here, 3 or 6 if you choose to discard one other card from your hand and then block this. We're going to do that. I am going to discard Deceptive Strike, I think, from this hand here. Where do I discard this? I'm going to discard this card, Weak Point. I'm going to discard both of these, and this says from your hand, and then I'm going to block this. So I'm going to block this to put 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just take this one, stick it in here too. We'll shuffle these all up. I'm going to put 1 card back in my discard pile. There we go. Put this one back in my discard pile. We have put Jack of all trades. It's a bad one to put in my discard pile. I really want that in the deck. We're going to shuffle his pile up. And mainly I'm doing this because I'm going to have to go into this marsh, and I'm going to have to use a lot of cards to walk around. So we're just going to try to hopefully keep our stockpile of cards pretty high. So our second win card is blocked, which is kind of sad, but we're going to have a almost full action deck for Brooks going through, except for his Deceptive Strike. All right, we're going to draw 7 cards in order to either move west or north, or sorry, east or north or south. Wow, not even close to either west or north. Nope. How about east or south? We're going to move either south. I'm going to grab 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I don't get to keep any of these. These are all just going to go flat into the discard pile. Because of this stupid, horrible card here. This is the way we're going to go. We're going to go south. It says here, 7+ with 0 successes. If your ground shiver is 5 or higher, flip this. So it is not 5 or higher, so I don't get to do the 0. So I'm going to take all 7 of these. I mean, I can kind of look through these. It really doesn't matter. I've got a whole bunch of cards here. Intuition, Endurance, Inspiration, Vigilance, Intuition, Parry. All that goes in the discard pile. And you can always look through your discard pile, so it's not the end of the world that I didn't really look at all those cards. If there's a certain card that's kind of going, oh, I hope I can draw that card, I can look through the discard pile to see what's there, to see if that card is there. We're going to flip over this card. Hopefully it says all the rest of these cards you want to flip over are going to be free. This one says, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to fight something. Drowners. These plant creatures spread their spawns near water sources to drag their prey into the water and drown them. Yuck. Oh my goodness, 6 cards. Oh boy, 2 cards, 1 card. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely horrible. Oh no. Okay, so I might have to take those guys on if I want to continue down this way. Otherwise, I can again draw 7 cards to look at that card over there. Yuck. Well, either way, I'm going to put a die on this card here, and we need 3 successes to move this down. Now, I can only chain 1 card to try to get my 3 successes for this. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. All right, Brooks is built for this. This is what he's for. This is what he does. He is going to attack. We're going to see how we do against this. This is going to burn through my action deck pretty quick because let's give it a little talkie here. All right, first off, we have evasion 2. So that means every 3 cards I draw, I'm going to have to discard the next X amount of cards from my pile there. So every time I draw 3 or more cards, I'm going to have to discard 2 cards from the top of my deck. All right. On top of that, I can only link one of these cards. Now, lucky for us, we have a lot of super cards that can go along with us. So let's lay this down over here and let's figure out how we're going to deal with this thing. Like I said, Brooks is built for this. He does have his axe. So the first thing we have to do is decide what we're going to use for our action. That will be part of our gear up step. We're going to add our axe to this. Then we can choose how many cards we're going to draw. Now remember, I can add an extra chain, or I can gain 2 successes if I get 2 fight numbers here. I am going to draw, I need to draw more than, I need to draw 3 or more, which means I'm going to have to discard 2 cards. All right, we're going to take 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to take 4. We're going to take 4 cards. Now, once we take these cards, I'm going to have to discard 2 cards from the top of my action deck because I was because of the evasion 2. So we're getting rid of flight, and what is this? Enchanted projectile. Okay, well that's too bad. All right, we'll put those into the discard pile. I do have my 4 cards. We need to get 3 successes. I need to get 2 of these is what I need. 2 of those more than anything else. All right, we have found, we've got 1. Okay, we get to keep 1 of these cards. We're going to keep this one. Now, lucky for me, I have the ability with my axe to add another die or card to the chain, and I'm going to add this one to the chain, which is then going to give me 3 successes. These 2, not so helpful. Thank you. That means that we did get our 3 successes. I got the 1 that we get to add from here, and then 1 because of my axe. Now, if things would have gone down even the worst path, I could use this one to give myself 1 more chain as well, but we're not going to do that. We're going to then discard all of these cards. I don't get to, I do get to keep 1. I get to keep 1 of these cards, which is going to be awesome. I also have to roll to see if my axe gets taken out. We got a 4. Our axe does remain. This is like the most sturdiest axe on the planet, which now means it's going to break next turn because I said that. And I get to keep 1 of these, and we go to the consequence step. The consequence step, since we're successful, we get to keep 1 card and drop this 2 places, which means now I need 4 successes. I only get to keep 2. And I then, if I win, I get to take a 151 card and discard this. Or if I don't get all 4, I'm going to have to deal with these -4 in order to do this. Now, lucky for us, we passed right past this. You need 6 cards to get 2 successes, but that is going to be a little bit easier than 4 in one shot. We're going to prepare our axe again, but first I get to choose one of these cards to keep. I would normally keep my determination card, but look at what I got. Ground Shiver Knowledge. I can lower the cost of drawing cards by 7, and I can add 1 to my hand. And then I can block this or discard 3 cards. And these all cost 7 to walk on. So this is going to be awesome. I'm actually going to keep that card. It's not going to help us with this battle, which is too bad. But I can use that next time we move to cost nothing to move. That is an absolutely awesome card. Now we need 4 successes this time. I only get to keep 2 cards from my thing. We do still have evasion on. I'm going to grab 4 cards again and hopefully get these strength symbols we need in order to have this happen. That's going to be the end. I do have to discard the top 2 cards of my deck, which means we are going to lose Blacksmith and Fortitude. Totally fine. Now, like I said, this guy is geared for war, but now he only has 2 cards in his deck. We almost went through his entire deck in just this one battle. Wow. Except that was he the one that did the 7 cards to move? I think he did. All right. Let's see what our 4 cards are for the consequence step. Now, I could dig through my discard pile, which I probably should have, to see how many strength numbers we have in there, but I'm not going to do that for now. We are going to then, here we go. Let's see here. I can keep 2 cards, and I need some strength here. We got 1. All right, that's good. We got 1 strength. I love that. We've got, oh, look at that, double strength. All right, we're going to put that over here. And I've got 1 card so far, and I need this to be a success. Come on, be a success. Oh, look at that. Yes. Oh, my gosh, my guy's awesome. He's like Superman. I don't think I get to keep any of these cards, do I? No, I don't get to keep any of these cards. So I'm just going to put the one we're not going to even worry about in the discard pile right now. Look at this. Oh, this is so good. I get to keep 2 from the chain. So here's our 2, which are going to be 2 successes. Then I'm going to use these 2 to give myself the 2 other successes. So that's all 4 successes, which means I get a 151 card. We have completed this set of skill checks that we had to do. We get a 151 card. I have to roll to see if we can keep my axe. And yep, just like I said, we're going to lose our axe. Our axe is now dead. During the consequence step, I have to roll a die. If you roll a 1 or 2, I am going to discard this. So this is going to go into the past, and I don't think we're ever going to get it back because that was something we got during the prelude. We're going to discard all of these cards. I don't get to keep any of these, and we're going to move into the next. I get to look at my next card here, but first, I have to get a 151 card. This card is going to be You Are Unleashed. Now, this is something I did wrong in the last playthrough. This card is a card that I have to use during the gear up step if I want to use it in any of my skill checks because it has that symbol up in the top. I was playing this as if it was just a normal blue card where I could just play it and use its abilities. That is not how this works. This is actually a gear card. It is, and it says here, your fatigue has turned into intense anger. At any time, you may choose to return this to return your You Are Exhausted card. For any action, I can ignore unsettling and gain 3 strength icons. Oh no, I wish I'd still have my axe. That would help so much. Hopefully we can find another weapon along our journeys here, and maybe that'll help us out. But for now, we are going to put this into we get to keep this. This is one of our gear cards, but I don't, okay, that's it. Okay, this goes away, goes into the past, and we are going to put down a 137 card. Let me just make sure this doesn't say return this. This says discard this. So if it ever says return this, that means it goes back to the box. Discard means it goes back into the past. That's it. Okay, we'll put a 137 card. We did succeed. That was actually awesome. And 137 states, the part of the mire to the south of the crossing river seems to have been dried out by the burrower's holes. This one looks, okay, so down here we're going to get some more burrower holes. We do see another bird, which would be awesome. Now, interestingly enough, when we move on to this tile, we're going to have to deal with that action because that is an action that all characters on the train card must be involved in. So it's not when I moved on to it, I'm sorry. When we do this, all the characters have to do that action with me. All right. Okay, oh boy. All right. I do get to look at this for free if I want. I do have to put down a couple more cards. We have another 4 card we have to put here. Now, interestingly enough, this is going to go into a different environment. This is going to go into 6. And if you thought the marsh was bad, I have to pay 10 to walk into this one, or unless my ground shiver is 7 or higher. So we'll put this right down here. I'm definitely not going that way. But these, I think, are the other 2 places we might want to go. There is a bird there, so that's something we're going to want to deal with. So we are going to move on to that tile. We're going to have Denim move, and I have to spend 2 extra cards in order to take a move action off of this tile. So we'll move her down here. And cost 2 cards plus the 1 to make the action right here. It's going to cost us 1 to do the action, then it's going to cost us 2 to move. Actually, I'm going to have him do it. I know this is bad. He's going to use all his cards, but he has an extra spot for a card right now. So he's going to move down here, costing him 3 cards. Now, sadly, he only has 2 in his deck. So he can draw these 2, but then he's going to have to re-put his cards in here. He's going to have to restore himself. So I'm going to, let's see how many we have this time so I can get all my math right. We're going to shuffle these up, and we're going to put them all back over there. There's no reason not to. I obviously need them all back over there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'm going to keep 1 over here, and then to our random, we're putting them over there. So I'm going to put intuition over there, and now it's 18. So it's going to cost us 9 health to move all those cards. Ooh, I make an absolute mess here. We're going to put this down to 11. He now has 11 health. That one battle was something else. He doesn't draw 3 cards to move. We'll see what he got. Save your energy. He can improvise to add an extra thing, and then he has Enchanted Projectile. When you apply the effect, assume you have selected a card with the keyword Projectile. I don't have any with Projectile, so we're going to get rid of that one. I don't think I need Save Your Energy, so I'm going to keep Improvise as our 3rd card, and we're going to move. After we move, we're going to then follow with her. Now, she has to still draw 2 cards because it states that when you move a terrain card where there's another figure, I have -1. So it just means I have -1, but there's still 2 more to walk through this whole area. So I have to draw 2 cards for her. We have drawn ourselves Ruthless Attack, and we have Flight. You may apply this action effect if the flight action has a Reach X trait. During combat, gear up step, you can return the card that shows the fight action and take a 13 card and test your luck. If you are jinxed, 1 random involved character loses 3 life points and takes 0-3. What is this? This is out of control. All right, I'm going to get rid of these cards. I don't think I need any of these cards. We're going to get rid of those 2 cards. All right, we're over here now. Now, again, we're on the thing with the bird, which I could do right now. But I want to know what that is. I really, really want to know what that is. So I'm going to have Denim check this out, but of course he'll have to help out as well because every character has to be involved. I'll take 2 cards. We're probably not going to keep these. Reinforcements and a Determination. When you may discard this during the gear up step to apply the following effect. What's this one? If you are the active player and at least one other character is involved in the action, and or you have a card with the keyword Companion, for that action, I can turn 2 of these into 2 successes. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But this one's also good. Gain a success. I'm going to keep Reinforcement. I'm going to use Reinforcement because I can turn 2 of these into 2 successes, where this one is I can only turn 2 of these into 1 success. So we're going to keep this Reinforcement card, and we're going to discard the other cards. I'm going to take a 193. We have found a card that is part of our quest. You hear a whistle as if from a big beak bird. With your heart pounding, you approach the source of the song, only to find that the place is already occupied. A man on all 4s is obviously on the same quest as you. At the sound of your footsteps, he suddenly stands up and grabs his club from the ground. Fantastic. This guy says, the man dressed in a simple canvas tunic and muddy pants lowers his weapon upon seeing you. Although he does not show any aggression towards you, he seems nervous. Pieces of nests are visible from the satchel at his side. So this is not something I have to do immediately, but all our characters have to do this if we want to do this. And it's going to cost us no cards, and we banish this and read 434. So we'll probably do that, but I want to do the bird first. We are on the bird, and we are on card 137. So we're going to take advantage of Ephraim to be able to check out the big beak bird. So we're going to go to 137 in the dialogue book. You hear a hissing sound and whisper to Ephraim, "The big black bird? No, the song of the bird we are looking for is more rhythmic." "Corrects, Ephraim, but you are certain you heard a whistle. Return the dialogue book." I'm going to guess that's going to have to do with this guy. I'm sure that you're supposed to do the bird, then this, and this would make more sense. But that's okay. I am going to use everybody, and we're going to talk to this guy. We're going to go to 434. We're going to banish this. So this is going to go into our banished card section. So we're going to put this here, and we're going to grab card 434. The farmer waves at you. "You scared me. I thought you were one of the beasts that prowl around here. Anyway, it's good to see fresh faces. I would invite you to throw back a cup or 2, but I live several leagues from here with my wife and children. Unfortunately, the soil is not so good for growing anything. That's probably why we see so few people. Are you lost?" There are 3 choices here. I can either choose to tell him the truth, I could lie to him, or this one down here says, if you choose to ignore him. Now, I'm guessing this is one of the ones we're going to get one of the quest cards from. So ignoring him is probably not the one I want to do, because it just says return the dialogue book. So I don't even have that on camera. There's no reason I'm doing that. I have to choose to either lie to him or tell him the truth. I am not a person that likes to lie to these people. I don't see why we would. So I think we're going to be telling him the truth, but let's quickly just look through them. It says, "Good day to you. We have come from Nindazar's Citadel. It collapsed during the reversal. Since then, we have set up a camp in its ruins where most of the former slaves, gardeners, live. Unfortunately, an armed gang has stolen our supplies, so we have to replenish them as soon as possible. There are already a shortage of food, and now there's a threat of famine. Ephraim here has been telling us about the virtues of the marsh bug's nests." You point to his satchel. "You seem to know them too." And I can read 72. Or I could choose to lie to him and says, "Good day. We have come from the Nindazar Citadel. We were sent by the Necro Druid himself. We need some marsh bug nests for a new experiment." No, I think that's a bad idea. What I understand, a lot of people don't like the Necro Druids, I don't think. So we're just going to read 72. We're going to tell him the truth. "We desperately need those nests." So at this point, I can try to convince him, threaten him, or negotiate. I'm not going to threaten him. I don't like threatening people, not to mention we just went through a huge combat, and I don't know a ton of cards. Threatening him, bad. Convince him, I could do that. Negotiate. Negotiate probably means I need barter cards. I only have 1. I don't think I have any other cards that are going to help me barter. So at this point, let's try to convince him. Let's read 31. "I have no doubt that you need the nest to fertilize your land, but if we return empty-handed, dozens of our people will starve." So at this point, I can do a converse action. I believe that's what that is. I think it's a converse negotiate action or something. And I'm going to have to, I can chain 0 cards to gain 2 successes. In other words, super tough. It says, touched the man hands his satchel. My wife won't be happy, but hey. And I get a 103 card, which, if I remember right, are one of those objective cards. And then an involved character may return a keyword with the word barter to express their gratitude, and then read 78. Otherwise, the man shakes his head. I'm sorry, but I'm not to refuse. I have a family to feed. If you choose to threaten, at that point, then I can threaten him or try to negotiate. All right, so this is kind of cool. I have an option here. If I fail, I can do one of the other options. So we're going to do a converse action. I can draw 0, or I can chain 0 cards, so I can also draw 0 cards. I'm going to choose to draw 0 cards. Then I've got a plan. That's right, I've got a plan. Here we go. So this one right here states that for whenever I do an action, I can choose to use this card. I can discard this to gain 2 symbols that have to do with leadership. I'm going to gain those 2 leadership cards. And then it says here, if you're the active player and at least one other character is involved in the action, and or you have a card with the keyword companion, during that action, I can use 2 of these to give myself 2 successes. And since Brooks is going to be doing this action with me, that means that I am, it doesn't actually matter if he does it or not, because if you are the active player and at least one of their character is involved in the action, which we're going to have Brooks involved with the action, meaning I am able to use this card to, I have to block this card to give myself 2 of these leaderships turned into 2 successes, which means I do have the 2 successes I need in order to do this. I will have to block this card, so we'll put that behind all of our other cards there, and we are going to gain a 103 card, and I may return a card with the keyword barter, which I have right here. It's that magic instrument. I really like this instrument. I'm kind of debating if I want to do this, but I think it'd be cool to see the rest of what's going on here. I may return 1 card, so I'm going to return this to the box to be able to read 78. That is it. So I'm going to gain our 103, which I'm sure is another one of those cards that is an objective card. So we now have 2 objectives. We need to have 3, remember, because we only have 5 of was it production? And we needed 6 in order to come back with only 2. So at this point, we now have a 103 card. I'm going to read number 78 because I am giving him this to barter. This one says, why not join us? You and your family. You'd be safe at the Citadel and could help build our community. At this point, I can do another converse action where I can only chain 1 and gain 3. Or if I do I draw 0 cards, I need 1 success if the involved character is showing gratitude by returning a card with the keyword barter. So I did do the return the barter, so all this is going to do is help me. So darn it, I wish I would have actually kept this. But actually that helps a little bit because I don't think I have any other way to get through this. I would only be able to chain 1, and none of my actions have the ability to chain more into this. I guess I think I had 1 that could have helped us, but that's beyond that. That's not going to help us. Okay, so we are going to only have to draw 2 cards to get 1 success, I hope. So I just got to figure out who's going to do the action. I think we're going to have Brooks do this action. So he's going to, because he's got the most right now. He's going to draw 2, but he only has 11 health. But I think he's going to draw 2 cards maybe and see. Let's see if I've got another option I can use here. I've got my improvise, so that's just going to help me chain. All right, we're going to give this back, and then how many cards am I going to draw? Yeah, we're going to have Denim do it. So Denim is returning. We already did that. We're returning the flute, and then we're going to grab 2 cards. All right, let's see how we do here. Now, of course, it's super zoomed in. I apologize. Let's see what we got here. We got 1. How many did I only needed 1. I didn't need the other guy. Oh, I got 2 successes. That's awesome. All right, so I have to discard both those. We need to keep them. I get 1,000 thanks. My wife and children will be glad. I'm good at growing food for the table. With the marsh bug nest turned into fertilizer, I can promise you the biggest fruits and vegetables you have ever seen. We get 1 more production. Okay, so now we have 6 production at this point. I'm going to fill that in. We have 6 production. I think that means we only need to have 2 quest cards in order to get through this. I also get a 99 card, which is those Hope Reborn cards, which are absolutely awesome. I'll put that into our quest items. And I think that's it. I return the dialogue book. Brooks is learning, or not Brooks, sorry, Denim is running low on cards. She's only got 3. So we're going to count these cards up here. And I'm going to put these back into our action deck. We're going to do a restore action real quick, because why not? We need to have some cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to go down 10 points. So I'm going to 10 health on my dial here. to give myself all these cards back into this deck. Now, I didn't know what these 3 cards are. I could have maybe figured out a little bit about them because I could look through my entire discard deck, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to shuffle these up, and we're going to put these back here. So we got a full deck of cards now. That'll be awesome. It is time to keep trugging around the marsh. I don't see any reason to quit yet, especially since I have this card. The card that allows me to draw 7 less cards when I take this action. This was our Ground Shiver Knowledge card. This card was absolutely bonkers good. I can either block this or discard 3 cards. Will I ever see this card again? And I think we've gotten 2 of the objectives, so we have 2 of what we need. I think I'm just going to block it, and that way I can grab a card. I'm going to grab this one. We're all going to go over here and do this together. Let's see what happens to us. We have found ourselves, oh, this looks bad. A puddle you step into suddenly comes to life like a worm made of muddy water and blackish matter that you assume to be pure necrotic energy. It rises up in front of you and attacks. During the following action, the active player is whoever revealed the card, and no other character may get involved in this. Terrible, 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 terrible. Okay, we've got really big problems here because it would have been Brooks. Brooks would have been the one doing this because he had that card. All right, I need to, oh my gosh, my guys are going to be absolutely slaughtered. All right, let's see how we do. This is going to be one of those compound actions here that is going to probably kill Brooks. Me and my big mouth getting to, or I should say, big mouth, this guy's got a big mouth. We have to deal with this. Okay, so first off, he has the keyword ambush. Ambush states that I have to skip the first gear up step, so I cannot use anything for the gear up step. He also has Unsettling 2. During this action, the active player may not apply the effects of more than 2 cards. Unsettling 2, I can only use up to 2 cards. Well, joke's on him, I've only got 2 cards, so ha 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 ha. And the good news is I can chain 2 other cards to this action if I want to. I can only gain 1 at this point. Then I can discard this, straight up discard this, which would be awesome if I make it through here. Otherwise, I'm going to take 2, get to keep 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and move the die down to this one, which then I can take 2 more damage, discard, get a 49 card, and discard this. We just want to straight discard this. There's no reason to keep this card around. I'm not going to gain anything awesome from it, and if I can just beat this guy down the first time here, I can discard this. All right, so we have these 2 cards that we can use if we want to. Also, I have You Are Unleashed. I'm able to ignore Unsettling, which means I could play as many cards as I wanted to. But I also get 3 of those strength icons. I have Diffraction, which I could, but I have to skip the gear up step, so I can't use this during the first gear up step, so that's not even going to help. Oh, I can't even use this one either. It's a gear. Oh no! Only thing I can do is these 2 cards. Ah, this is bad. All right, I can only keep 1 of these cards. I am going to grab 4 though. We're going to see what happens on it. And there's no way I'm going to, okay. Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little bit. I have to grab 1. Maybe it's best to just, fail this and just take the 2 damage, keep 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and go down. I think that's going to be my best bet. We're going to fail this first one. I am going to draw 2 cards, though, because I get to keep 2 cards because of my fail action, and that's just what's going to happen. I'm going to fail. I'm going to gain these 2 cards, spare no effort, and please be something good. I can, what's this, consider? I can keep 2 cards and then discard this. Well, I get to keep both these cards anyway, but I have 2 cards already in my hand, which I'm already going to keep. So this one says at any time during the result step, draw 2 additional cards and reveal them. We're going to keep that one. We're going to get rid of consider. We're not going to keep consider. We did not pass. We only got 1 star, so that's good. That means we are going to take 2 damage. We're going to go to 9 on our health tracker here. That was bad. Okay, we're down to 9. That's no good. All right. Then I have to discard 2 cards. I already kept my 2 cards. Discard these 2. Endurance, which looks really good. Oh, and I have to discard Determination. That card's so good. Then I move my die down to here. At this point, now we have to beat him. I could gear up now. I can use my gear up step if I want to. I could gear up to use all 3 of these and forget Unsettling, but which means I could do, what does this do? This one allows me to ignore Brutal, but I don't have that. If I draw that symbol, I can gain a shield if I want to during an attack action, but how many of those do I have in my deck? Probably like 1. All right, that's not going to help us. Let's see what this one does. I can turn any 2 cards into 1, or any 2 symbols into a shield. We're going to use that. We're going to gear that up. During the consequence step, roll a die. If I roll a 1, I have to return this. When you discard or block this, return this. Okay, we're going to use that card. That's going to be our gear up step. Then we're going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully we get enough that is going to be able to help us here. We're going to get 4 cards. I'm going to be able to chain 2 of them. Let's see how we do here. We got, that's not going to help. Ooh, we got 1, 2. Then we got 3 successes. That's sad, sad, sad. All right, let's see what we can do with any of this. Okay, we have these cards we could play, which allows us to chain 1, chain 1. So we actually can chain 4 cards. I can turn any stealth into strength, which isn't going to help us. I can turn any 2 symbols into a health here, or into a defense, which is going to be good, which is probably something we're going to do. I could play this card. Oh, unsettling. I can only play 2 cards. I can only play 2 cards. So if I keep 1, I can keep 1. Oh, this is going to be the same thing. 1, 2. I can only have 2 successes. And then I could just use these to block something. And then keep the chain. I need to use both these to chain if I want to. Or I could draw 2 more cards. Let's do this. At any time during the result step, draw 2 additional cards and reveal them, then discard this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw 2 more cards and reveal them. I got, oh, look at this. This is going to be super good. Now we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh no, this is super bad. Really? Okay, I got 4. The problem is with my unsettling 2, I can only use 2 cards to help here. I've got, what, Deceptive Strike, which I can add 1 to the chain, or I can discard to add 1 to the chain. Darn. Okay, well, we do also have these 2 cards here as well. Okay, lots of stuff going on here. I can only keep 3, I believe. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and get 3 successes. I could have gotten 4. Yuck. Okay, we're going to use 1 of these in the chain to give ourselves 3 successes. I don't really know if that's a big of a deal, but we're going to. We're going to use this. We're going to discard this. We're going to keep 1 in the chain, which means these are the 3 I'm going to keep. 1, 2, 3. Now, it doesn't mean, now, but I'm going to use these 2 symbols to give myself a shield, which will be awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, shield. I got 2 for the shield. Block 1. Now, we're going to bring this down to 1. Hope you're following me. Hope I'm doing this right. We're going to go down to 1. We're taking 3 damage, but I'm going to be able to block 1 to 2. So I'm going to go down to 7. Wow, I don't want to be in this marsh area much longer. I get to keep 1 of the cards. So we're going to look through all of this and figure out which one we're going to keep. We also get to keep Deceptive Strike. I'm going to keep Inspiration from those sets of cards. I also have to roll a die on this to see if we have to return this or not. We got a 4, so I get to keep my Padded Gabison, and we're going to go to our gear up step again, and I am going to use that. I'm going to grab only 2 cards this time. Hopefully we can get a success out of this. That should be, oh, I think we should be able to get 1. We got none. We got none successes. Good news, I can use 2 of these to block this. Really? I got none successes? Yuck. Choose a card from your discard pile and add it to your hand or shuffle it back into your action deck. I probably should have done that. Deceptive Strike. It's not gonna have, wow, no successes. But at least I get to keep 1 of these cards. Seriously? Oh boy. I can use 1 or 2 if this is the only card in your hand. I can use 2 to block 2 cards. We're going to use that. I'm going to keep parry, discard that. I can't believe I failed that. That was horrible. I'm going to take 3 damage. I'm only going to take 1 because I can do a max of 2 block here. So we're going to go to 6, which is horrible. I got to keep a card. I did not get my success. Okay. I am going to try again. I'm going to use 2 cards again to get 1 success. Oh, I got to see if my Gabison here is still with me. Nope. This goes back into, I have to return this to the box. That's awesome. So we better beat this guy this time or we're in big trouble city here. All right, I'm going to use 2 cards. I better get a success out of this. There we go. There's a success. There you go. 2 successes. Good job. I still take 2 damage going down to 4. This guy is in big trouble here. He's not doing any more actions for the rest of the game. We're going to return. I get to keep 1. Nope, both are gone. I get a 49 card, and then I get to discard this. Yuck, yuck, yuck. This guy's terrible. Barf on that guy. Here's our 49 card. We got one of those Glimmers of Hope. At any time, I can return Glimmer of Hope, 5 of them to get this, or I can unblock a card and return this. My only card I have there is that Ground Shiver card. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Goes in our quest items, which is great. But wow, that guy was brutal. All right, we are going to be able to put down a 145 card. That one states, on a promontory, fat plants covered with prickles border several paths. There is nothing natural about this vegetation. Well, then why would we go here? All right, here we are. We get to search for 260. There's a lot of 2s and some 5s and lots of fun. I think we're going to be close to being done in this adventure because we got absolutely rocked by that thing. All right, good news. We don't have to worry about that moving thing in this area. It's just that top card up here. Brooks is going to be in charge of a lot, or not Brooks, but Denham's going to be in charge pretty much of everything else we do in this entire adventure. So she is going to move one over to this tile over here. Sorry, wrong character. We'll move over here. She gets to draw a card. She's going to keep the card because she has it. Second win, choose up to 3 cards, and that's awesome. Then he's going to move over here for free. This thing also comes over during the consequence step. At this point, there's a lot of stuff we can do. I do have to put down a couple more exploration cards. A 2 card over here, which looks like it's going off towards the big giant lake. Also, we have to put down a 5, which again costs me 7 or more unless we have a ground shiver of 5 or higher. We do not. So at this point, we got a few things to look at. We can explore, we can go spot C. We got lots of fun things to do. Let's go over here first. This is free. We're going to do a 260. And like I said, Denham's doing everything now unless I say otherwise. So a 260 card. There are 2 260s. We'll give them a little shuffle, shuffle, shuffle here, and shuffle, shuffle, and truffle. There we go. We have found ourselves. Some small animal prints are visible in the dirt. You might want to set some snares in case the critters are still around. Discard all 260 cards from the adventure deck without revealing them. Here's another 260 card. I'll put that right into the past. If you would rather go on your way, discard this. Otherwise, I can do a trap action. If you have a sack of grain, okay, mental note. Next time we have a chance, we need sacks of grain. After some time, you return to inspect your traps. One of them has killed a rodent the size of a large wurzel. Wurzel? Okay. How about just a rodent of unusual size? At this point, I get to keep a card. I get to take a 0-5 card. If this is not available, one involved character may add 5 cards from their discard. Okay, we want to do this. We totally want to do this. Now, this is a temporary event. We have to do this right now if we want to. The only problem is I don't have anything that helps with traps. On top of that, I only can keep 3 cards. I need 4 successes, and the only person that could really... There's nobody can help me with this. I don't have any cards that are going to help me. I'm actually not going to do this. I'm going to discard this. This is going to give me lots, I'm sure, food, which would help our characters, but I can't get 4 successes very easily with only being able to chain 3 cards, and I do not have anything that helps me with that particular action. So at this point, I'm going to discard this. I'm going to discard that in the past, and that's it. That's all from 260. Oh, that makes me so sad. But the odds were so against me on that. So I'm not going to do it. We're going to go back over here, though, and we're going to check this out. Denham, again, is going to do it. She's going to grab a card. She's going to draw it. Oh, look at that. And this would be one of the cards I would have drawn. It would have been half success. No way I would have done it. If you were selected a card with the keyword weapon, she does have a weapon. I can ignore unsettling, which apparently is one of the bane of my existences right now. I can discard 1 card from your hand. To ignore unsettling, and for each one of these can gain a star. Well, we're totally keeping Ruthless Attack. That's really good. I'm going to check out card number 163. It states, you walk between huge plants, some which are almost twice your size in some places. They are so clustered that their prickly their prickles brush against you. Oh boy. All right, bristles. One random character on the active terrain card must do the following action. I can take 0 cards and get 3 successes. Or if your figure base is in contact with a bristler, oh boy. Okay, lucky for us, he's in charge. Okay, whoa, I can't believe they do this. Okay, that's super cool they do this, but I never ever expected. So he is touching one of these stupid bristle cards. So he is not going to do it. And he wasn't going to do it anyway. She is not touching a bristle card, thank goodness. So she only needs 3 successes. You take care not to scratch yourself on a prickle. Take a 150, return this card. Otherwise, you scratch yourself all over. All right, so we have to do this. All right, so I'm going to get a 150 card if we're successful. Mental note, don't go look at the bristle patch. All right, I need to get 3 successes. I think, should we draw 3 or 4 cards in order to get 3 successes? I think 3. 3 cards to get 3 successes. I'm going to grab 3. I don't have anything that helps me with a get hit in the head action. It's actually not what it's called, but it looks like it. I think it's like a throw action is what it is. It's a dodge action. That's right. Now, he has something that helps with dodge, but he's not the active player. He's got the diffraction thing again, but we're not going to use that. We're going to just use this. We're going to do this 0. I need 3 successes. Let's see how we do. Then I'm doing this one. We've got, oh, that's pretty good. 1 right there. There's 2. Come on, 1 more. I need 1 more. I got 2.5. That's no good. Do I have anything that's going to help? Oh, yep, we do. Okay. So, nope, we don't. Oh boy. Okay. So she has failed this. Wow, I should have grabbed 4 cards. What was I thinking? Okay. We failed this one. We're on super fail mode now. We were on super win mode. Now we're on super fail mode. I do not get to take a 150 card. Instead, I get to take a scratch. Here's our 0-4 card. This is absolutely horrible. Fever, aching muscles, and you are hardly at your best. Deal with the infection quickly or it might get best of you. You are ill. Immediately after this, revealed you are already ill. Lose 3 life points. Return this. Immediately after performing a recovery, lose 2 life points. Yuck. Okay, so, well, now we're ill. That was super good. Okay, guys are so bad at this game. Oh, okay, I think we're going back pretty soon because I'm running out of stuff to do. This goes into the past. I do have 2 cards, which is good. Our quests, I am ill, so if I ever recover, I have to deal with that. And sadly, I can't even treat it, which would be something I'd want to do. I'm going to go north, and then after that, I think we're going to be heading back because this is just bad. I'm going to take 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're just going to upturn these and throw them in the discard pile. Goodbye cards. Woo! All these good, cards. Look at them. There they go. All these cards. Wow. Into the discard pile. Because I only have a ground shiver of 3. So we're going to reveal this card, and then we're going to probably move up there, and that might be about it. Hopefully it's not something that's going to kill me. Waterway. Your figure's base is not, if your figure's base is not in contact with a waterway, discard this. Otherwise, the crumbly bank yields and during the following action, the active player is whoever revealed this, and no other characters may get involved. Okay, I'm not touching anything water related. Gosh, this is amazing. Okay, I'm super, though it is so cool that they do that you flip over cards and based on where you're standing. And of course, because these are all built toward the terrain types that you're in, those are going to play effect. I think that's great. I'm going to grab a 96 card. And like I said, we might be on our way back out of this horrible place here because I'm running out of cards to be able to deal with here. 96 states that this is where the crossing river leaves the Great Sea to join the Black Ocean. Much further west at the edge of the swamp, the chimney of Rickety Shack belches out smoke. So here is our card. Oh, we have a bird. We have a bird. I see a bird. We're going to put this right here. Okay, this is super good. Okay, then we're going to move there. So I'm going to move with her. It's going to cost 1. She's going to flip over a card, and she could keep this if she wants. Onward. I can use this to lose 3 less and then discard this. We're totally keeping this card. I am going to get rid of my Ruthless Attack. Hopefully we don't have to fight anything anymore. I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to keep Onward because we're going to use that as we come walking through here. We're going to save some cards. He gets to move up here for free. I don't know where to put these on here for fear that if I'm touching something, it's going to be bad. There we go. We'll go like that. Okay. Now move off. This is going to cost an extra 1 and an extra 2 over here, which is okay. I am going to, first we're going to do the bird. The bird is right here. The bird is a word. He's number 96 is the tile that we're on. So we're going to read that in the book. Ephraim raises her hand. She has heard the song of a big beak bird. You listen carefully, but all you can hear is the wind in the leaves. You have to face facts. You would not get far without the young woman's help. You move toward the thicket, but stumble on a root and splash into a puddle, cursing. With a beat of its wings, a red shape disappears between the trees. All you have to do now is inspect the ground, inch by inch, to find the marsh bug's nest. If you prefer to postpone this tedious task, return the dialogue book. Otherwise, I have to spend 5 cards to dig in the dirt. Or 8 if I have a weakness card. I do have a weakness card. Oh, Denham's weak. Oh, we can deal with that. Okay, we can deal with that. I can return the dialogue. I can return to the dialogue book and come back in just a second. Your instincts tell you there's a nest here. You start to dig vigorously. Take a 13 card to try your luck. If Lady Luck is on your side, you have found the nest. Take a 102 card. If you're jinxed, you should dig a little further. Immediately take the action again or return the dialogue book. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to postpone this tedious task. We're going to return the book. But we're going to pretty much come right back to it again and do that test. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use second wind. I'm going to return 6 cards and I'm going to block this. So we're going to get rid of that, shuffle this up, and draw 6 cards and put them into her pile here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These all are going to remain in the discard pile, totally fine. We're going to put these into here. Now, we could recover, and then immediately after reforming a recovery, I lose 2 life points. Oh, but it doesn't discard it. Oh no, I was totally thinking I could discard this afterwards. Okay, nope, she's just going to remain. Oh, I got to discard 8 cards. All right, we're going to discard 8 cards in order to hopefully make this happen. All right, let's go back to the book and deal with it. Since I have weakness, thank you, you are ill, I have to draw 8 cards and I need 0 successes. So it doesn't matter how many cards how many stars are on these cards. So we're just gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 cards. I'm just gonna show them, it doesn't matter. Like blah, 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 blah. A bunch of cards that I'm never gonna see again in my lifetime. We'll put those into our discard pile. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab our 13 cards. We're gonna give them a truffle shuffle. And I have to draw a 13 card. Hopefully it does not say you are jinxed. It says, oh, it says Lady Luck is on your side. Old Cider always said, if you escape an encounter with a burrower, go to the tavern and play dice, or card with a fortune is smiling, return this. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so it does say, if I have a card of Lady Luck is on my side, I get a 102 card. So we're going to grab a 102 card. That is going to be another one of our quest cards that we need, our objective. So we do have 3 objectives, which is definitely enough that we need to get this done with. And then if we are jinxed, you dig further. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to dig further. That's bonkers. We found the nest. All right, that is it. We're going to return the dialogue book. There is one more thing to do. We can use this. I'm going to have Denim check that out. It's going to cost me 1 card to use, and she gets to keep this. Anticipation during the consequence stuff. Shuffle up to 2 cards you have revealed back in your action deck. Well, that's actually really good. I'm going to put that there. She does have now 2 cards in her possession. I'm going to check out 222. This one says, the hut consists of a single room cluttered with shelves that house pots and jars gleaming in the daylight, which filters through disjointed boards in the walls. Besides a stepladder, hundreds of small, carefully labeled drawers reach up to the ceiling where herbs and flowers are drying. Oh, there's a person in here. You scared me half to death, exclaims an old woman. Well, come to my place. Feel free to take a look out the window. The view is magnificent. You can even see the roofs of Kell on a clear day. I don't see why I don't talk to her. That's going to be 128. We'll put that there and go to 128. You're probably wondering what a mad old crab like me is doing in a shack in the middle of nowhere. I followed my father, of course. He was a druid celebrated for his talents. He hid from the world so not to compromise himself with the dark magic of the necro-druids. Stain, the sanctuary of nature, is a monstrosity he has always fought. In the tradition of his order, he taught me everything I knew about plants. Unfortunately, the cauldron I use to mix my potions and remedies is cracked. There are many mixtures that can no longer be made without it. If you'd rather resume your journey, return the dialogue book. Otherwise, I can use a, what kind of action is that? Blacksmith action, a craft repair action. Let's go with that. Craft repair action. I can chain 2 cards for 5 successes. Or if I have a cooking pot, I can just discard the cooking pot for nothing. And then I get all these awesome things. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this up here just says go get bent, and that ain't going to happen to me. So we're not doing this. We're just going to leave. I don't have any way of getting 5 stars out of 2 of those, drawing 2 cards. Nope, that ain't happening. It was awesome to meet you. We will come back again sometime soon when we have a cooking pot to give you. Okay, so this has been the story of going out exploring, seeing a whole bunch of stuff we can't do, and coming back to it again, hopefully in the future. Let's go back home. We are going to head that way. This is going to cost us 2 to move off of here, so I'll just grab 2 cards. Boom, there's 2 cards. Throw them in the discard pile because I guess I could keep one of these. I could keep no, we're going to keep any of these. We're going to discard them both. All right, discard both of those. Then I'm going to move him over here. It is going to cost 1 card to do that because he gets to get -1, but he has to add 1 because of that. So I'm going to discard Vigilance. Or how many cards does he have? I think he only has 2. No, he's got 3 cards. So he's going to just discard that card. Totally fine. Then we're going to move up. But at this point, I am going to discard this, which is going to mean that I can pay 3 less to move up here, which is great because it does cost me 3 less to do that. Now, sadly, he is going to follow me, and that's going to cost 2 cards, which means his action deck is now depleted, which means he's going to have to do a recovery action. He only has 4 health left. So I'm actually going to bring him down to 3 and only put 2 cards back into this deck. So we're going to shuffle this up a little bit, and we're just going to put 2 cards. We'll put the top 2. It doesn't really matter. He's not going to be doing anything for the rest of the game. Into his action deck, so in case he does have to perform an action, he'll be ready to go. All right, now we're not going to deal with what do you call it? This thing right here. No, we're not going to do that. But I do want to go up here. So I'm going to pay 1 card with her to be able to move up there. So we're going to get rid of Inflexible. Now I can keep this card. 2 and discard this, or 3 and block this. We'll keep that. That's fine. And he's going to follow for 0. This is going to come up with my consequence step. Then I'm going to search this. So I am going to use 1 card from Denim. Denim is going to go on the double. That's totally fine. Get rid of that card. And we're going to check out card 112. There are a couple 1/1/2 cards, so again, we'll just give them a good old shuffle, 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 shuffle. There we go. This one. And we found ourselves on the shore in the distance. You can make out a figure standing on a rock. As you get closer, you discover a woman focused on the cork floating on the surface of the water. Shirt, pants, and sturdy boots. She is dressed for walking. 3 hands are painted on her satchel, 2 of which are held by the wrists. Oh, it's one of these people. All right, I'm going to talk to her. She's going to be right here. We can banish this and go to 105. We're totally going to do that. I'm just going to put that right into the banish pile and read dialogue 105. 105, we met Sable again. Now Sable's sitting on a thing. Apparently she doesn't have very good memory because she keeps going like, oh, hey, I remember seeing you. Yeah, you've seen me 3 times now. It's not too tough. We're going to discard all the barter cards. Just go to 144. I don't have any barter cards. Again, we're not doing any of those scenarios. It'd be super fun if I was, because I'll probably never see those again when I'm doing those scenarios. Instead, we're just going to roll a dice, see what we get. We got number 3. We're going to read 29. We have not seen any mass attacks coordinated by the burrowers since the reversal. They're still underfoot, and I wouldn't go to the collapsing lands without my ground shiver. But there's a good chance their actions are instinctive and not the result of any orders from the Worm Masters. I get to take a 49 card, which I think is a Glimmer of Hope. It's a Glimmer of Hope card. And then I'm going to return this to the dialogue book. Having banished this card, there's still an opening now there. So I am going to search again. It didn't say that I had to get rid of the other 112 cards. So let's search, see what we found. We have found Inspiration. Choose 1 card in your action and discard pile and add it to your hand. I'm going to keep that card. I'm going to discard my Anticipation card. I'm going to then use, well, first I have to deal with 112. Let's see what this 112 card is. It is right here. It says here that the sea is rough as it often is in this season. You head along the shore and reach a beached boat. The oars are nowhere to be seen. They must have been taken away or hidden by the owner to prevent anyone from borrowing their boat. I can spend time here, 3 without a success. If you decide to wait, I get to keep one of the cards and take a 13 card and try your luck. If Lady Luck is on your side, here comes the owner of the boat. Discard this and read 46. I'm going to use my Inspiration card, discarding it to give myself a Perseverance card. And we still have the Inflexible card as well. Going back here, I am going to discard 3 cards. Now, sadly, that puts me at, I only have 2 cards left, so I do have to reshuffle up my deck. I am going to put in 6 cards, so we're going to go down to 4 health with her as well. I think that's okay. So we're going to put in 6 times 2 is 12 cards. So we're going to shuffle this up and put in 12 cards into our deck. I think that's going to be the best plan here. Let's give it a shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We'll put 12 cards in there. I do have to take 1 more card, which is going to bring me 3 cards here. I usually could keep one of these cards. I'm going to keep Determination. There is no reason not to keep that card. That card is bonkers good. I could keep the other ones, which are just going to give me more leadership, or I can help with a flight action. And this was the card I replaced with Determination, because Determination is bonkers good. I'm going to then, we have to do the 13 cards and see if we have Lady Luck on our side. Here are the 13 cards. We're going to shuffle them up a little bit. And I need Lady Luck on my side. Let's go here. Oh, there she is. She's Lady Luck. Good job, Lady Luck. All right. So we got Lady Luck on her side. It's always, I think, going to be the same thing here. This one says then, if Lady Luck is on your side, I get to read dialogue 46. A man approaches you dragging a pair of oars behind him. Good day. Fancy a ride? I'm heading back to Kel. I can take you if you have some way to pay for the crossing. Otherwise, you can either walk this way or swim that way. But the Great Sea is treacherous, and I don't recommend the second option. It takes a special kind of madman to navigate. So if you're going to take the boat, you might as well do it with a guy who's used to fishing in the area. A guy like me. If you want to decline the passer's proposal, return to the dialogue book. Otherwise, if you want to take the following action, the involved character must return a total of 2 cards with the keyword barter, or 1 card if you have a double key card on your, what is that, influence? Oh, and your influence score is higher than 7. Well, our influence score is 3. And I don't have a double key. So, and I don't even have 2 keys with the keyword barter. So none of that's going to happen, which is probably okay. But good news, if we ever want to get to Kel, this is a way to do it. I can just keep waiting here until he comes by again with his oars. And I can bring 2 cards with the keyword barter, or 1 card double key and have 7 or higher. And then I'm guessing this is going to take me across the ocean to Kel, which will put us in a 139. It looks like we'd clear the entire board. So it's a way of fast traveling to another area of the map. But where we stand, that is not going to happen. It's time to, you know what? I am going to, let's check this out. If I'm right, no, we don't have to check that out. We know it's there and we've done everything on that tile. There's no reason to flip that card. With my luck, it's going to have like death, death, death. So we don't want to deal with that. I am going to move back over here with our characters. That's going to cost me 1 card. We'll flip over our card. We are going to be able to take resolution. I could turn 2 of these into a success. Nope, we're going to discard that. This comes over and then he comes over for free. At this point now, I'm going to use this. Now remember, like I said before, when I did the piggy in thing, I think is what it's called, I did this action first and then went over here and did this. You don't have to. You've already uncovered this card. So I just need to pull 15 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I can pull in 11, 12, 13, 14, and it leaves me with 1 card left. If I want to, I think is what I can do. Okay, so we're going to do this. Okay, it's going to cost us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. Then I am going to bring myself down to 1 health. And 1, so I get 2, 4, 6 more cards into my deck. We're just going to take 6 random cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them into my deck. Now let's count these again. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, leaving me with 1 card in my deck. Now I need 6 successes in order to do this. It says here, 15 with 6 successes, you manage to dig up the machine. You can now, it can now be brought back to the Citadel for repair 2 defense, and I get a 99 card, and I banish this, which is super good. If I don't have 6 successes in here, I don't know what it is. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 17, 403. Okay, we got 403 successes. We were able to get a 99 card, which is going to be the Hope Reborn card. I'll put that in there. Then I get to add 2 to my defense here, which means we're going to go up to 5 on my defense track on our Citadel. We'll be done with this card. It gets banished into the banish cards. And at this point then, I am going to use Brooks to move to the Citadel. He's going to use his 1 card to move to the Citadel. Both our characters have 1 card in their action deck. He's going to move up. She's going to follow for free. That's going to cost us nothing. It's going to cost us 0 to go check that square out. That's number 77. And if I remember right, that's the end here. We're just going to flip this over. It costs us nothing to enter the Citadel. We're going to spend nothing for both our characters to enter. The only thing I have to make sure of is there's not any quest cards that have to do with my particular quest that we were over here. No, there's not. Here's a quick glimpse of the board that we were able to uncover as we went on our adventure for the mission Get Fed or Die Trying. We almost did die. Both of our characters had exactly 1 card in their draw deck. Denim only had 1 health left, and Brooks had 3. Couple rough fights in there for Brooks. I really expected to do a little bit better in some of those fights, but you know, we made it through, and we don't have our axe anymore. We lost our probably only weapon. The only other one we have is this flail that allows us to turn any wilds, or any symbols, I apologize, 3 of them, into success if going forward. So this we might have to give to Brooks unless we get another weapon to use going forward. Let's go to our epilogue now in the Dadasham's Awakening Threat book and see how it all transpires. Oh wow, wait a minute, I forgot something. This card should have fired off. I can't get that +2. No, I can't. She doesn't have enough energy to have pulled enough cards over there to do it, because she would have had to discard the top 2 cards of her deck after she did a recovery. Well, in that case, this goes back out there. I am going to erase 2 of my check marks on the defense. We did not get that. We'll have to maybe get that next time we go out on a mission. Oh, I totally forgot that she was ill. Yuck. Being ill is terrible for more ways than one. Totally forgot about that. Okay, I'm sure people noticed that, and I probably put a note in when I was doing the editing. Totally forgot about that. That's not going to happen. I don't have any other way to combat that. And with Brooks only having 3 health, he wouldn't be able to help out at all. So yeah, sadly, waiting for the boat cost me that this +2 to my thing. Darn. Okay, well, nope, that's how it goes. I think we're going to be okay. Let's check out the epilogue. Let's finish this up, and we'll get ready for our next adventure next time. Several dozen eyes stare at you as you enter the silent camp. You can guess the one thought that occupies their minds at this moment. Did the expedition find enough food to quickly replenish the community's supplies? If both the 11 card and the 166 card are available, do not take them, but read 50. Otherwise, discard the Ephraim is blind card. I don't think so. The 11 card and the 166, because Ephraim is card 166, and that's not available. I have that card. So as far as I'm concerned, you just discard Ephraim is blind into the past. And that's that. Then if you have 3 or more objective cards or 2 or more objective cards and your production is on a 6 or higher, read conclusion A. We have 3 objective cards, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we do. We have 3 objective cards. So either if we had 6 or not. Now, like I said before, I'm not sure if the 6 is when we come back or if the 6 is when we started the mission. But again, it is not going to make any difference because we do have 3 or more objective cards. So we're going to read conclusion A on page 8. The faces of your comrades light up when they see what you have brought back. Amidst cheers and relieved laughter, you and a few others spread the fertilizer all over your crops. As expected, the results are spectacular, and after only a few days, you already see fruits and vegetables proliferate. Moving on to the state of play, we'll return all objective cards applying the following effect. For each card you return, I get +1 to production, and I get a 99 card. Now remember, we had 3 of those, so we're going to return 3 objectives, and we're going to gain 3 on our production. That brings our production to 9. We're doing really good on production in theory. I don't know what the number needs, but that's going to be not too bad. Then we also did 3 objectives. So we're going to gain 3 99 cards, which is those New Hope cards. We'll put those into our quest cards. And on that point, then we're going to return those 3 objective cards to the box. Several weeks pass, and with them comes the fear that the soldiers who have been taxing the Citadel will return. You have managed to gather enough food to meet the needs of the entire community as long as you use strict rationing. One afternoon, a cry from the lookout freezes the whole camp. Wagons escorted by a large and heavily armed troop are reported approaching the Citadel. A woman with a shaved head, her left eye held shut by an ugly gash, steps down and presents herself at the entrance. "Good day, everybody. We are here for your small contribution. I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. A few reluctant donors have delayed us. I'm not disturbing you, am I? And to think that I can't come to you empty-handed when you are going to give us so much. Where are my manners?" You go to meet the scarred woman who greets you with a nod. "Rilda One Eye. she says, pointing to her old wound. "Tell me, are you the ones who run this place? I don't want to waste my time with the stooges who serves the soup." "What do you want?" "I sense you are grouchy. Being one of our benefactors is an honor that should delight you. As your people must have told you, we are all participating in the war effort, each in our own way. You provide and we dispose. When I put it like that, it's a little hard to swallow. I never did know how to respect conversation, but don't blame me. In short, your contribution allows us to continue the fight. Don't ask me which one. I don't know a darn thing about it. That's Dadashim's business. The Necrodruid commands her humble servants. My lads will deduct the contribution from your provisions, and not a single seed in excess. Rest assured. No objections? Perfect." Rilda snaps her finger, and immediately a dozen of her men head for the storeroom. You watch the armed troop and must face facts. Your community's lack of preparation means that standing up to them would result in a bloodbath, something you are determined to avoid. You clench your fists as you watch them seize the provisions that you have worked so hard to reconstitute. Once their carts are loaded, the troop is ready to set off again. Good Dadashim will be happy. Well, we'll leave you be. You have work to do, a lot of people to feed, she concludes, pointing to her reveling soldiers. See you soon. This brings us to our ready to set off again part. The soldiers have taken your supplies. If you have 5 or less production, you have to take a 129 card. I do not. I've got a bonkers amount of supply. I got 9. 9 supply. Each player is then going to discard all of their cards. So we'll discard these cards into the discard pile. And at this point, we have finished the scenario, Get Fed or Die Trying. If you want to begin the scenario immediately, we go to the Gladius and the Pumpkin on page 10, but we're not. We're going to wait and do this in the next video. Now, before we do, don't forget I do have 5 Hope Reborn cards that we're going to use before that video happens, and then we'll talk about what we did with them. They are right here. If you have any options as to what I should do with them, please let me know in the comments section below. It'd be nice to hear. Now, I'm guessing that getting out to the far outer reaches of your Destiny track is fantastic, and maybe we can get one of those cool cards. And if we do it, it costs us 1, 2, 3, 4 of our Hope Reborn cards, leaving us with only 1 left. So there is multiple options we can do with that. We could gain some more advanced cards, we could reflex, we could build another building, we could get one of these feathers, which I think expands the map that was given to us that we can slide certain cards into. We can also raise some of our production or even our defense of some of our cards, or I should say our Citadel, which might not be a bad thing. So let me know in the comment section what you think. But for now, that is the end of this video. We made it through our second mission in the 7th Citadel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you know when more 7th Citadel content comes out. I plan to get through this entire thread, and if people want me to and are enjoying this, I might even do the other one as well. Or who knows, I might go for that throne one, which is supposed to be really, really bad. But we shall see. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments section below. I would love to hear from everyone. If you're interested in supporting the channel, don't forget the link to the Patreon is located in the description of this video. Those that have already joined the Patreon are located here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It does mean the world to me. If you are a member of the Patreon, a few of the perks you get, like I stated earlier, are you're able to help affect the game. So I might use those 4 cards to be able to get up to that 301 card, but then I do have that last card. So what do people decide in the comment section? I might have our Patreon vote on. That way it gives them a chance to be able to have a say in how the game develops going forward. Also, the Patreons do get a chance to watch all of our playthrough videos, usually about a day or 2 ahead of time without any commercial interruptions. So there you have it. Denham and Brooks have made it through the second mission, Find Food or Die Trying, I think something like that. Now, if you're excited to see if our characters can get through the next one, or if you're interested in anything that Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.